Hello again, guys, and welcome to another episode of On the Range podcast brought to you by Hogg Tactical and Kelley Defense. I am Mark Kelley, and as always, I am joined by my co-host and friend, Rick Hogg. How's it going, buddy?
Man, Mark, it's going fantastic. Woo! Fired up out there, interwebs world. I want to thank you guys for giving us your most precious commodity, your time to tune in. Why am I fired up? Oh, yeah. Get a little workout in, man. It'll do it for you. Why don't you try it if you haven't, right? Same thing. If you're carrying that firearm, make sure you guys are doing your dry fire training. Don't forget, use your copy of the firearm training notebook. Make sure you have a plan for either your live or your dry fire training. Don't forget, guys, since you're out there in the interwebs, swing by warhog.com, kelleydefense.com, sign up for those newsletters. Trust me, we will not inundate you with a whole bunch of spam because I am currently in email jail anyway. So it looks like old Google smacked me down, so I got to try to fix that one. Anyway, since you're out there, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, leave us a rating review. You guys have been slacking, man. I ain't going to lie. Ain't been a whole bunch on there. So whoever gets the next review out there, man, you will get a public shout out right here on the Range podcast. Don't forget,
deal,
guys.
by the way,
huge deal, huge. It'll be a game changer for you. Don't forget, guys, swing by patreon.com/on the range podcast. Get up with like-minded individuals who are looking to make themselves 1% better every single day. Bi-monthly Zoom calls with me and Mark, shooting challenges, 60+ training videos on there. Just a great community to be of. Speaking of communities, if you are a law enforcement officer, we've got a special tier, especially for you guys. Appreciate what you guys do out there, keeping us safe. Don't forget, swing by Vimeo. You can get OTR training on demand as well there. Another source for all your training videos. So I think that's all our housekeeping, buddy.
Yeah, as always, this video is presented by the Firearms Training Notebook. Level up your training every single day. Be 1% better every day, Rick, with the Firearms Training Notebook. Also, support for this episode is brought to you by Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com. Use the promo code OTR20. Save yourself 20% and save yourself a boatload of cash. We will talk about them later. We have a big show today.
Yeah,
this
buddy.
is a two-time offender now.
Yep.
Why don't you go ahead and bring him in and introduce everybody to our guest today?
Woo! So we've got Ken Stretz of Stretz Tactical. So me and Ken have done a couple collabs together. Be up there in Kenny's neck of the woods. April doing a law enforcement, LEO only law enforcement room clearing event 2-day course up there up in New Jersey. But always great to have Ken on. So Ken, welcome to the show there, buddy.
Welcome back, buddy. Fired up to be on here, man. Watching that new intro you guys got, and then Rick doing his thing. I was almost ready to yell, fired up, drill sergeant or sergeant airborne or something, man. You were, man.
Oh, yeah. That's high level production stuff there. Yeah.
I was having flashbacks to being 17 years old and getting yelled at.
Well, don't forget what makes the grass grow.
Blood.
There you go. At least for the old generation. I'm not sure for this new one. They probably tell them fertilizer and water, or who knows.
You can't yell at them anymore, right? It's like a whole different thing.
Dude, I'm not part of it anymore. I don't know. I'm a civilian, man. All I know is they're sucking up my tax dollars.
Gender neutral barracks, and oh my God.
Don't get me started on the science project, man. Social experiment. Let's get right into it. Ken, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. Just super busy. Got classes coming up all over Texas in April. I got a 2-day advanced pistol class.
Where are you at in Texas?
The Ranch in Dealey. It's right by San Antonio. So a little east of San Antonio, I think. And I'll be back there again in October for Force on Force and marksmanship as well. And I'm out in California in May at Christensen Combatives. It's Pala, California. It's San Diego County. It's a little north of San Diego City. Then I got some skill builders in Connecticut because that's not too far from me here in New York. I got a bunch of classes coming up in New York, Pennsylvania in July at I'm losing the name right now, but it's in the Poconos. Can't think of it. But July, I'm doing a 2-day pistol class there and a bunch of stuff in New York. So super busy, the whole marketing piece, right? Trying to push everything out and, that whole thing. So especially if you've never been to a place before, like I haven't been to Texas before. So it's, trying to reach that new audience, and say, hey, this is who I am. This is what I'm doing. Go to StretzTactical.com, check out my stuff, and sign up, and, that whole piece. So I can teach you how to shoot, be a cop, be a soldier, but teaching you how to run a business or be a marketer, that's part I'm still figuring out.
Man, the marketing thing, Ken, it's a tough one, right? And especially when you're looking to venture into areas where you haven't been. And I think a lot of it boils down to, hey, who are the touch point, or who are the people that you know in that area?
Yeah.
So, I know from different things I've done around the country, it's having that, whoever that person is, to try to help you out. So whether there's that range or individual or however that piece works, try to get them to work their circles. Because at the end of the day, at the end of the day, let's be an honest broker. We are in a market that is very highly suppressed.
Yes.
We don't have First Amendment rights. We've got all these different platforms that's changing rules. What's right? What's wrong? What's this? It's funny. I just had a YouTube video pulled because they changed their rules, right? So they're not grandfathering anything. They recently did, hey, if you're adding something to your firearm, just adding something to there, right? It's a violation. So they pulled a suppressor video I've had up, over 2.5 years ago or something silly like that, because it violated their standards. So it's just a constant target. So when you look at that, it's hard, some people say, you start to see this swing, like Rumble starting to be more free speech, trying to go, hey, is that the next place to go? I don't know. I haven't seen anything on any gain on Twitter. Haven't quite figured out how to tweet.
Well, that's the thing. They got you by the balls and they know it, right? So like you said, is Rumble going to take off? What's the deal with Twitter or these other places? All this other stuff is already established. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all of that stuff. It took off, right? Those platforms do very well. And unfortunately, just like the entertainment industry or some of these other things, the other side has control of it. So how do you, to start new, and I know Trump was doing some stuff and whatever, that's great, but how do you get everyone to subscribe to that, to go there? How do you make it work, right? That's the step one, and we're not there yet.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I think the podcast genre, it's really exploded too. And for all those who are out there and you have a business, starting your own podcast is a great idea. There is plenty of room for all this stuff, but I got to tell you, most of my radio stuff that I listen to, besides On the Range podcast, is other podcasts. I listen to them all the time. Sirius has them. All the other major carriers and distributors of podcasts. It's just huge. True Crime's a big one. We listen to that all the time. So yeah, you coming on these shows and stuff like that. A lot of the folks that we have that show up at our classes say they heard of us from the podcast. So you have to keep attacking those other type of medias.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I'll look at my website, and me and Rick have the same website. I don't know, or a web host. I don't know who you're using, but it gives you all the analytics. So I know, like, Google's my number one thing. Then it's direct to the website. So like word of mouth, stuff like that. Then, believe it or not, Facebook, which I don't really post a lot on there. I'll like share whatever I do on Instagram to Facebook. So I was kind of surprised by that, but it tells you where everything is coming from. And it's like, all right, push more out on there, I guess. But like, do you waste time and do anything on the other platforms? Like, do you do sponsored ads? I've done all of that stuff, and I've been getting a lot of traction from the sponsored ads, which I'm surprised, because Instagram and Facebook and all that, they, like we've been saying, have shut you down. But I'll watch on the Wix site, like, yep, it's coming from your sponsored ad on Instagram or from Facebook or whatever. So the sponsored ads work, and I'm getting people in the door, but it comes down to, Rick and I have talked about this before, and I'm sure you and I have talked about it too, Mark, is, I don't want to sell sexy, right? But there is something to what you call your classes, the content you put out. And you could be the worst instructor in the world, have zero experience, but have great content, and people will sign up for your classes or buy your products. And the other way around, you could be the most experienced person in the world and not be able to put out, quality, entertaining content. Not that training is for entertainment, but and you won't get as much traction, if that makes sense.
Mm.
But that's what it's turned into, Ken, right?
Yeah.
Let's be an honest broker. They're really the platforms. It's kind of like if I put out a post or a reel that's educational, it tanks. Nothing, right? Stupid Monday funnies. A repost from somebody else will get all kinds of traction, right? So it's just a weird dynamic. If you sit there and go, hey man, here's your, tip of the day. People don't seem to care. It's kind of like they're looking for the I like to say entertainment. What's the sexy, flashy? Sorry, dude, that's not me.
Yeah. And that's another problem with the industry, right? It's like all of that sexy stuff and all of these, and I won't name anybody, but we've seen all the things that people teach and all these terms they come up with, and then you see dudes, very respected, people you've worked with, Rick, and people I respect, and I'm sure Mark respects, and they'll beat them up, and they deserve it. But then if you set people straight for the sake of people's own safety, right? Cops, military, the armed civilian who need to be kind of guided in the right direction. Say, hey, that's what you're seeing is cool to watch, but it's entertaining. It's not training. It's entertainment that seems like it's training, but it's really not training. But then if you call them out, does it look good for your business? Will it hurt your business? So you try to, guys that are trying to do the right thing, they're getting beat up. And I guess there's probably a way to go about it too. But so, yeah.
But Ken, I just don't have the time, right? Yeah. I don't have the time to engage with other people to sit there and have some in-depth conversation trying to change them on however they're doing business, right? Yeah. Hey, Hogg Tactical, we got a way we do business, If somebody else wants to do something else, great. Hey, that's your prerogative.
Yeah.
It is, you can't be out there being the interweb police and going, hey, man, you should teach that or you should do this. Hey, to each their own, right? That's the beauty that the Constitution guarantees us, right? Yep. Is basically the First Amendment. Now, thank God, opinion, which is sometimes in this new day and age referred to as misinformation. Oh, luckily that hasn't slipped into the industry yet. But if it does, it'll be a sad day, because who's the quote unquote keeper of the truth? Nobody is.
Who's ever got the power on the platform?
Well,
right.
But again, it's, do you teach whatever it is you're teaching, whatever methodology you do, try to articulate it, and then, try to get the word of mouth out there. So it's just, I'm with you, man. It's a hard place to be. And personally, I don't have the utmost faith in Zuckerberg and, paying for ads, because that right there tells you that right there, it's a suppressed platform, because he's an advertising agency is what he is. And then in turn, he's got all his backdoor AI stuff that, they posted a picture of a gun. My freaking leash. My leash is still classified under the firearms and ammunition. How? I have no idea. Right?
Is it multicam or something? I mean,
nope. It's wolf gray.
Mm-hmm.
The In Honor of Duco loop leash. Nope. You cannot put it on. It violates our policies of firearms, explosives, and ammunition. This is the problem with AI, right? So you don't even have people looking at what they're rejecting. Or what was the other day? I had something. I still can't figure out how they dub something's branded content when it's not. Or there was something else that was supposedly a violation. But
and you try to get a hold of them to straighten that out too, right?
Forget about it.
All you can do is just hit the button, right?
Yeah.
The what's it, argument button or whatever.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this. I was able to talk to Google the other day because my email service got shut down, right? So I can get my personal emails on my Warhog account, but sending out, newsletters, that got shut down. Now, here's Google's explanation. Well, if you ramp up too quick or you send a bunch out, we automatically mark it as spam. Hello, McFly. So if you get a big influx, so if I've ramped up from the last time I've done a newsletter to the next time, and of course you can't get any solid numbers out of these people. Well, what's the number? What's the percentage? Well, if it's a lot bigger than the last time, what's a lot bigger? 10, 20, 100, 1,000? I don't know. Because now they start going, well, your email spam. Well, how is it that my own email coming from me to me is in my junk box?
That's
Explain
because
one.
Because you have that camouflage hat and that American flag. So you're what did they call Mike Glover? What was he, a terrorist or something?
Yeah, domestic terrorist.
Yeah. So heck, my emails goes to Rick's spam inbox a lot of times.
He told me he did that on purpose.
Yeah. Mark's crazy idea again.
Dude. So I wind up. I mean, here's the deal, Ken. I've got to scroll through my junk mail once daily, right? Because I don't know. I don't know who's going in there. So now, from just a mere business standpoint, how many emails have gone out in people's junk mail? Yeah. So how do you fight AI when you can't even figure out how to navigate the rules?
Well, it's just like the whole YouTube thing, or not YouTube. Well, it could be YouTube and Facebook. There's, what is it? There's the bell and you might be a subscriber, follower, or whatever on whatever platform, but you also got to hit the bell thing and this, otherwise you won't get notifications. Or maybe you will. Maybe. But hit the bell.
Well, the notifications, I get it, right? That's on you. But I'm talking on a mere email type campaign, right? I've had people tell me when the email's going out, you got AI cruising through it, right? Certain buzzwords, bam, that gets flagged. Then Google tells me, oh, if it ramps up too quick, that gets flagged. Well, what's the ramp up, right? Somebody tell me the parameters so that I can sit there and go, oh, if it's an X amount of percent or a number or whatever, to stay within them so you don't wind out. So it's just a constant battle in this industry. Now I could sit there and I guess I could identify as a woman, go transition over into the fitness world and be crushing it. Right?
Yeah, you do much better non-binary fluid. I don't know. I can't try to remember all
I don't even know what half that crap means, right?
I saw something today on social media. I had to Google it. I don't remember what the fuck it was.
I don't even waste my time, right?
Yeah.
It's like you're something, whatever, dude. Good for you.
Well, I can tell you one thing that seems to be across the board helpful is networking, being associated with other people's brands.
Mm-hmm.
That seems to happen to us. People send us stuff, we repost it, whatever, or they mention us. Those kind of things seem to be very helpful. Yeah. And also those the social media sites that are networking sites like LinkedIn. I think that's an untapped resource that we've just recently started using. But I think those in itself, it's basically electronic word of mouth is what it is.
Yeah.
Some people might get a little more reach or different reach than everybody that is following that person. If you're in the same industry, those folks to come to follow you are going to be organic. And I really don't think that the folks that are working at some of these places even know how that AI works. I'm convinced of that. They just don't. So they can't even tell you what the parameters are because they have no idea.
Unless they're told to go
somebody does
something. Yeah. Well, obviously, some of this, the stuff in front of Congress, right? So hey, go. Do you guys still have me? It looks like I lost my microphone. You hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
I had a thing come up on the screen, so lost audio. Yeah, yeah, go shut this guy down. Go shut that girl down. What was it? Anna Paulina? I think she got shut down by Twitter, and it's for what? Right? I forget what it was. Some nonsense that they tried to say. Oh yeah, she needs to be silenced. Really? Well, it's a private platform, so we can do that. Come on, it's like going into Village Square today.
But it wasn't even, it was a private platform, right? When you start digging, people told them to do it.
Yeah.
So you got
what people
so you got
that?
Ooh,
The government,
the federales, huh?
Yeah.
But that's the crazy part, right? So you've got the federal government themselves suppressing the First Amendment. Yeah. And I used to be the guy, right? Before I guess as I got a little more wisdom, I used to be the guy that would be like, hey man, why isn't 2 1 and 1 2? Well, I know why. I can tell you it's very apparent, because we've never had this much suppression of the first. And now I sit there and go, once again, these founding fathers, man, geniuses, right? It's not a living, breathing, adjustable document. It is sitting there. Oh, as I speak of my document, look at that. Always within arm's reach. Bam!
Bam! You owe me a drink. We said bam at the same time.
I don't think we quite did. I said it first anyway. But my point being is, it's like, if you can't get your word out, and then we start to change verbiage. Oh, my opinion, misinformation. Excuse me?
Yeah.
I got to go pull a Jack Carr and go find me an old dictionary and look for misinformation. Look for the difference between opinion and misinformation. Technically, what the Webster's definition used to be back in the day, in text, not on the interwebs.
Our founding fathers saw this movie before. It's just got a new cast. A new location, new cast, new backdrop. But they seen the movie before, and
I don't know. I don't know if they saw the movie this bad.
No,
we're kind of like in that bad B-rated film that you sit there and go, really? I can't believe this is happening. It's almost like living in Bizarro World.
When the Chinese sent spy balloons over your country, and they let the first one go, and then the president ordered this one shot down, another one shot down by order of the president. Like, I'm watching the news today, and I'm seeing all this. It's like, really? Like, he let the other one do its job, and look at the path it took, all the sensitive sites it traversed, and then after he got beat up for it and it was over the water, he shot it down. Big deal. You know what I mean? But he did it. He's doing it. Oh my God, he's the greatest. Yeah.
He's the greatest crook.
It's not even him. He does it 5 minutes later. He forgets what they told him to do. He's just a puppet.
He might be the puppet, but he might take a cut out of Nixon's playbook. I'm not a crook. Throw it out there, bud. Why not?
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, now, Ken, I'm going to tell you right now, buddy, if you haven't experienced the Lawnmower 4.0, you're missing out, my friend.
Damn.
That goes for everybody out there. Manscaped gives the OTR University support. So go to manscaped.com, use the promo code OTR20, level up your below the waistline grooming. Hey, ladies, do yourself a favor. Do yourself a favor and drag your man out of the Stone Age. Take care of that down there and get him the Lawnmower 4.0. The premium package, what do they call that? The performance package 4.0, Rick. They sent us a couple of those. Not bad. They got t-shirts, they got underwear, they got all kinds of stuff. They got this soft scrubby thing. Throw that old school loofah out the door. I don't care if it's a natural sponge or not. Get rid of it.
Yep.
Go to manscaped.com. Use the promo code OTR20. Save yourself 20% and get free shipping and support On the Range podcast at the same time. That's funny thing about the weather balloon. That's what they're calling it. It's a high-speed weather balloon, right? That's what they modified into the spy balloon. Everybody kept saying some ridiculousness that, who cares? Who cares? Or whatever, Matter of fact, the guy from NORAD, did you hear what his term was? He
UFO,
said, yeah,
right?
we definitely have to close the gap in our, what did he say?
Yeah.
His, some kind of a fancy word for saying that they didn't do their job. But I didn't think they were looking at anything. I think they were sucking up information. That's what I think they were doing.
Well, then they also came out and said that it happened a couple of times under Trump. And they tried to draw parallels. He had this many, Biden had that many. And well, why didn't you do anything back then? And why
didn't you fix it then? Why didn't you fix it?
But here's the question of the hour. How do you know now? Would they review the freaking radar tapes? You know, I mean, there's just something that makes you scratch your head to go, doesn't make sense, right?
And because here's the other thing. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, if you're reviewing the tapes, how'd you pick it up now but missed it then?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing that, I'm not an intel guy, so I don't know all the, secrets of that stuff, but I'm sure the Chinese have satellites, and I'm sure their satellites come over our country. Why do they have to put a balloon, at 60,000 feet?
Yeah, but think about this, man. Think about it just from a mere observation standpoint. Would you rather pull intelligence from out in space, or would you like to pull it 60,000 feet away?
And I guess, I've never seen, I was just going to say, like, I've heard, I don't know, maybe you've seen some of the imagery, but they can read license plates and crazy stuff like that with a satellite. So yeah, I guess what can you see, hear, or what kind of signals intelligence can you collect at 40 or 60,000 feet with a balloon, right?
Well, think about back in the day, right? So when you start looking at, U2, SR-71, riding around that 60, 70,000, foot mark. Granted, when Gary Powers got shot over Russia, he was cruising at 70,000, thought he was clean. Our intelligence didn't catch that they had SAMs that could go to 70,000.
Really?
Oh yeah. That he got shot down, right? So the big play was, and his name got dragged through the mud, that this is classic. Don't want to, let people know that capability, so we'll throw him under the bus. Yeah, if he's at 70,000 feet, aircraft got shot down. Okay, now we know capability, right? But in turn, we'll go, pilot error, so that the Soviets don't think that we know that now they got this capability. So cool, we'll just crank up the SR-71 and go up even higher and beat your SAMs. But that was a common cruising altitude back in the Cold War era. So think about cameras then, cameras now, how technology has gone, not to include all your different signal stuff you can pull. I don't know how far that stuff's transmitting and everything else, but dude, it's absolutely mind-boggling.
I can tell you right now, the amount of data that you get from a single cell phone when it is for criminal, for intel only, when it is downloaded or captured and we're using it for any kind of prosecution, it is astronomical, the amount of data that thing can capture. Oh, yeah. And everything that you can get out of it. There is no such thing as a deleted file. I'm absolutely 100% telling you, anything you delete on your phone is never going away. It's never gone. It can be regenerated. It can be captured.
Even if you crush your phone, like Hillary Clinton.
Even if you crush your phone, you are going to be able to retrieve that stuff if you have the right person with the right software to retrieve it and know how to read it. Now, I can tell you right now, in big city police departments, there are folks that can do it.
Yeah.
So just imagine hovering. And I think the big problem that this particular piece of kit had was it came down too low, right? It was seen. Someone saw it.
Yeah.
It lost altitude. I don't think they were well above that, I believe. I don't know. I would think they would be. But just think how much data, for as long as it traveled, that it's sucking up at any given moment.
Oh yeah. And then transmitting back.
And constantly transmitting. They'd have to.
Yeah.
Almost real-time stuff.
Oh yeah.
Well, think about it. I just picked up a Toyota Tacoma, and part of, it's not just the lock unlock on your fob anymore. Now it's on your phone, right? And they can also tell you on my phone, I can tell you where my car is. I can unlock the doors, turn the lights on. If I was in the back seat, and I haven't figured out why it says this, but it's got a sensor that says, "Hey, check your back seat." So if they
what?
Yeah,
that's when old boys in the back, man. when he's picture locked and he's laying in the back, laying in wait,
He's
right?
like-
Because you've seen that video. He throws
It's like a Jack Carr thing.
well, remember when he throws the rope around your neck?
Yeah.
You know, and then you got to take the actions, but you probably have those electric seats up.
Why do you think they want that? Think about that for a
They
second.
want to know everything you're friggin'
Yes.
doing, man. Same thing with
It's
like
intel.
yes, of course it is. And that's why I didn't want it. But for my key fob to be able to do remote start, which, oh, by the way, after a year, I'm going to have to pay $8 a month if I want to do remote start with my key fob. So
We'll quit being lazy. Go back to old school.
yeah,
I want
and
I
I
want
will.
me a key.
Yeah,
Think
you
of that.
can't
Just
get a
because
key
you
anymore.
can't access it doesn't mean that capability is not there. They can tell you where you're sitting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just the car, dude. Like I don't have I have Ring door, the doorbell cameras, driveway, lights and all of that other stuff.
Hold on a
But
second.
yeah, but it's not just that. It's your washer, dryer, your thermostat. I think you can like send some refrigerators. You can send ice to the, if you want a cup of ice in your cup when you get home, you can. So now they know, hey, every day at 5 p.m., this guy gets home. He has ice waiting in his cup. He turns up the thermostat and he parks his, Toyota in the driveway, and his driveway lights come on, and you can tap into the Ring stuff and watch because it's happened. It's just crazy. And even that stuff isn't perfect. It's kind of like body armor, right? You come out with new body armor that'll stop a new bullet, or a new tank, right? Armor on a tank. Well, we come out with a new round to defeat that. What's happening, you've probably seen this where you work, is you'll watch some doorbell footage, the entire neighborhood. A blue Honda pulls up in front of every house, and then the cameras go out. Why? Because they have Wi-Fi jammers and they're jamming your shit. And you can go right on Amazon and get that. So technology is great, but it can definitely be used against you. It can be definitely defeated.
Big brother, man.
Luckily, I live in a great state that allows me to. What?
There's no crime down there. Oh,
Didn't say there's no crime. Nope. But allows me to be armed to deal with that crime should its rear its ugly head.
You don't even need a permit. Right?
Yes, you do.
You do.
You need a permit.
Ohio, you don't.
Yeah. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So we're still kind of fringy. We're a weird state, kind of this purple-esque, right? So we got a Democratic governor, old Coop. For those of you that aren't savvy with him, for my fellow North Carolinians, yes, he voted for Jim Crow laws, so I would not get him back in office next time. But we got a great lieutenant governor. But yeah, so
go lay down. Sorry, my combat assault border collie was coming over here wanting some attention.
You're good. But so we've got the right for concealed carry. You got to apply through your sheriff. So it kind of borders on our old Jim Crow laws that we had for the pistol purchase permit, which, oh, by the way, the North Carolina legislation voted to remove, but old Coop decided he wants to keep Jim Crow on the books. So
he's saving lives, Rick.
No,
of course
Hochul is saving lives. Hochul is saving lives. Did you see that guy who got shot in Times Square the other day? I'm beside myself because there's a law. Yeah, there's a law now. You can't have a gun there.
Yeah.
Oh,
how did
that
happen?
doesn't sound right.
He didn't. No one told him.
Misinformation.
Yeah. Oh, that's misinformation. We're gonna label you misinformation.
Yeah. That's
misinformation. There's no way. There's no way anyone's
watched.
Yeah. There's no way anyone's being shot in Chicago, in New York. What? I think San Francisco's another no gun. What about LA? I don't know about LA.
Did you see what the reason why all those vendor robberies? Did you see what the reason that Lori Lightfoot said?
No.
What was causing that?
No.
The vendors are accepting cash. They shouldn't be accepting cash. Them savages trying to make money and earn a living shouldn't accept cash. They're the whole reason. It's not the criminal's fault.
No, of course not.
No,
it's cash. It's Uncle Benjamin.
Cash.
Well, because they want everything to go digital, so now they can control your currency. That was the other thing that people have been, people with the tinfoil hats are saying, like, oh, we should get rid of cash, make everything digital. Yeah, and when you piss Uncle Sam off and he freezes your money, or you don't make your car payment because there was some glitch going from your bank to your car. Now your loan company shuts your bank account down. No. Mm-mm.
So I want to get your guys' take on this. All right. I put up a post today.
Oh, there she is.
So here she is. Ken Stretz voted for her. If she ran for something, he'd vote for her.
Yeah.
Let me see here.
The Admiral, I just wanted to make sure we address this from the White House. I know there have been questions and concerns about this, but there is no indication of aliens or extraterrestrial activity with these recent takedowns. Again, there is no indication of aliens or terrestrial activity with these recent takedowns. Wanted to make sure that the American people knew that, all of you knew that, and it was important for us to say that from here.
So if that's coming out of her mouth, that means they're aliens.
That's what I said. My post says now we know for sure that aliens are here because they are trying to convince us otherwise.
Yep. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Making a jailbreak out of Area 51, man. They had enough.
I was just going to say, yeah.
So they're trying to tell everybody that they go up into Canada, into Canadian airspace and burn something down 3 times.
Yeah.
3 times. And they're trying to tell me, but they're not saying what it is. It's not aliens, but they're not saying, well, what the hell is it then?
A cylindrical object. Right? Isn't that what they were? That's what I think they were calling one of them, a cylindrical object.
What's scary? Where's the missile footage?
That's true. You only saw the one, right? What's scary is what if one of those balloons had some anthrax in it or something else?
Had anything.
Yeah.
I mean,
what if it had freaking ET in it?
What if it had that chick in it and you dropped her in there?
Well, that would be okay. Oh,
man.
I don't know, man.
So you think there's aliens, Mark?
I do.
Rick?
Absolutely.
I've seen him with these eyes.
Yeah. You've been to those places. Your eyes aren't big enough, though.
They don't need to be that big to see them. They don't need to look like theirs.
Who comes up with all this stuff?
I don't know. But if they're telling me that it's not,
it is.
Probably is.
Yep.
It is.
That sounds about right. Reverse.
Well, they don't know what the hell it is, which is even worse.
Yeah.
Or some
she seems so competent. Not confident, competent.
There hasn't been a competent.
I just want to trust her.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to refer myself to the White House counsel's office.
I don't even know her name.
Maybe that general should have had better choice of words, especially since he was in Air. Did they call them generals in the Air Force? I guess they are, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have generals.
Yeah.
Because in the Navy, it's admirals or some shit, right?
Yes.
So you would think that the Air Force general would know better than to say UFOs, but whatever.
What do they call them now? They don't call them UFOs anymore, do they? It's something different. They want to get away.
They swapped it. Right. We're changing. Why are we changing our verbiage all the time? Right. I mean, let's think about it. A UFO, it's pretty self-explanatory.
Mm-hmm.
Unidentified flying object.
Which doesn't mean an alien. It just means you haven't figured out what it is.
I don't know what it is. Okay. So I've got an unidentified flying object. But we've correlated that means aliens. Okay. But now all of a sudden we can't use it. And yeah, I think they changed it a couple of years ago, Mark, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's been a couple of years now.
Like an unidentified flying craft, or I don't know, something stupid.
Yeah, it's something different.
I would say, having worked for government, most of my adult life, somebody either OCD came in and became the boss of naming shit and said, hey, let's change it to this. Yeah, or someone had to justify their job. Like, oh, I've changed all these different things.
But Ken, we're kind of in that bizarro world, man. Yeah. It would be one thing, like, you've got the military that's basically a social experiment, right? That thing's out of control.
Remind me to tell you something about that in a second.
Okay. You got the country's out of control. Biden's on the take, right? I mean, it's just every time you turn around, everyone's compromised. And you're sitting there going, it's just us. And don't worry, no new taxes. except for you waiters and waitresses, we're going to take a hard look at them
We're gonna
tips.
take your tips.
Dude, you target the low guy once again, right?
Yeah.
I don't get it, man.
Yeah.
I don't understand the rationale.
You know what's funny is, I think, didn't they say that Trump had a bunch of new documents that they found? It's almost like as soon as they find something in Biden or whoever's garage next to his Corvette, his 1969 Corvette, then all of a sudden, they found 5 more.
Yeah.
At the Trump in Mar-a-Lago.
They have. I haven't heard anything more about him.
Yeah, that was like last night. Yeah.
But here's the question: did they send HRT to Biden's house or to Pence's house?
Oh, they didn't. They weren't even part of it.
They just sent some federales. They weren't the whole get up.
They weren't even part of the suit or the search.
What about this? If somebody else in, I don't know, Biden's administration lied to Congress, would there be combat swimmers swimming to shore on your beachfront property, and guys with rifles and plate carriers on your Ring doorbell to come arrest you for lying to Congress, like happened to Trump? I forget what guy it was.
But let's think about it, right? Well, go ahead, Mark.
I was going to say, the compound in Mar-a-Lago is a lot less secure than that house in Delaware where Hunter Biden rents it for $50,000 a month.
Rolls the Corvette in and out. Hey, man, you want to check out some classified documents? Here you go. Dude goes hard though, bro. Oh,
he goes hard, man. You got to admire it.
Well, you do got to admire, man. He's still kind of rolling, right? I mean, he's got some giddy up and go, but the part that kills me is you've got a former president, which did he declassify him? Did he not? Did he go through the right things? I don't know. Don't really care, right? You got old freaking Beijing Biden sticking stuff in his drawers, rolling it out of the skiff when he was a senator, right?
Mm-hmm.
Straight up stealing classified documents. If I go to a skiff and put some classified stuff down my drawers and walk out, get caught, I'm wearing silver bracelets going to the clink, right? Yet we still entrust him to have a clearance, still have all this information. My man's crookeder than freaking a back with scoliosis, man. It's like, dude, you sit there and go, hey, Joe, check it out. We got this little house for you.
I think it's hilarious.
Well, look at a parallel.
It's
there was I'll keep it kind of general, but wasn't there a special operator guy looking for a job somewhere else? And during an interview, it came up that he brought, classified stuff home to work on a plan. And that came out and the guy got fired. He didn't get arrested, but he got fired. If that can happen to a special operator, why can't it happen to the guy running the show? Why shouldn't it happen to the guy running the show?
Well, it should, but there's special people in this world. There's special people and they get special treatment.
The bottom line, why are you taking stuff out of that secure area?
Yeah.
Right? You can sit there and go, and I hadn't heard the story you were talking about, Ken.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you offline. But
yeah, but here's the deal: when you're entrusted, part of this whole thing is when you're entrusted to secrets of the United States. There's some faith in there that you, as the good citizen, patriot, whatever word you want to say, is going to safeguard that stuff. Now, there's a certain deal. Yes, could I carry classified documents? Yep, there's a whole set of standards how that's done, right? It wasn't to the house to work on some plan. It wasn't to go take them to the house, stick them in the garage next to my Corvette. It sure wasn't to go put it in some Chinese-funded freaking center, right? So something stinks. So at the end of the day, I don't know all the rules and legalities of, having classified stuff. I do think I remember something where I did sign a document that says, hey, if I do X, Y, and Z, it's punishable by 10 years in jail and $100,000 fine or something, right? I don't remember all the legalities, but there's rules in the books.
There's also common sense, though.
It's common sense, Ken, right? But you have to where do you draw the line?
Well,
right?
Let me give you an example, right? So it's kind of like what Mark and I deal with on a daily basis, right? I don't know, like where he works the vehicle and traffic laws. But here, if your license gets suspended, you can get a restricted license, right? And with the restricted license, you go to work, you go to the doctor, you go to church, and that's it. If somebody runs out at 3 o'clock in the morning because whatever, the baby was crying and they need Pampers and there's Pampers in the back seat, are you going to, arrest that guy or ticket him and pound his car and do all of that stupid stuff? He's violating his restriction, but look what he's doing, right? So you can take it in the same respect as the story I gave you. The Army guy taking stuff home because he's planning things. Should he have known better? Should he have done that? No, I get it. But there's a difference between that and leaving whatever those classified documents were laying around next to your crackhead son and God knows who coming in and out of the house, right? There's
Chinese spies,
yeah, whatever. So there's a big difference there between a guy working on an operational plan. And yes, I understand he shouldn't have done that and he lost his job over it. But there's a big difference between that and what this guy did, I think. So that's where, to me, common sense and how you want to go about things. But instead of saying, all right, you shouldn't have done that, whatever, here's your walking papers, whatever. With this guy, it's because you're the president. We're not going to go after you. The only president they want to go after is the one that's crushing their plans and dreams to destroy America, Trump.
Yeah.
When have they ever? I mean, yeah, Nixon, obviously he did a burglary, right? Or he ordered a burglary. That's a different story. But
do we truly know?
Who the hell know? Well, let me ask you something else. JFK, right? I'm no conspiracy theorist, but there's no way in hell Oswald killed him. Now you look at Trump going before he got in, when I get in, or maybe it was he got elected, but before he got sworn in, I'm going to release all the documents. He gets in there and all of a sudden they don't release all the documents. How could that possibly violate or put at risk anything we're doing today? How many years later? 60 years later, 50, whatever the math is on it.
It's because it's not good.
Yeah, it's not good, and it's probably not good. For certain people.
Right.
Who was involved.
He's like, ew, I don't want to carry that back. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of the Oxford English Dictionary, there was 800 fully revised and updated entries and over 700 new words and phrases in December of 2022. Now, warning, if you're in the car and you got kids with you, earmuffs or pause, not super bad, but I don't want to be responsible for putting these words into your child's ear. So 5, 4, 3, earmuffs. Okay. Final girl, tallywhacker.
Tallywhacker's been around.
Wait, what's a final girl?
I don't know.
Let's find out.
But a tallywhacker's been around forever.
Yeah.
That's nothing new.
Yeah.
It's a stock female character who survives to defeat or evade the attacker after the other characters have been killed and is typically portrayed as an intelligent, serious, cautious, and chaste final girl. Horror films, slasher films.
Okay.
That's they're doing a lot of good work over there at Oxford.
Yeah. I'm impressed once again. We got Tallywhacker. Tallywhacker is officially in the dictionary, the digital dictionary.
Oxford English Dictionary. Yeah, as of December 2022. Wow. Slang, the penis.
Yeah.
They don't mess around. They don't mess around at Oxford. The penis.
That's
also occasionally and earliestly used as stupid, annoying. I've never heard. I guess so. Yeah. An otherwise objectable person.
Yeah.
Well, dick, I guess.
I guess the tallywhacker.
What about a purr? That was the one I just pulled out my phone and looked up what I was looking earlier.
Spell it.
PER. I'll tell you what it is because I have the definition.
Oh, you have it the Oxford English edition?
No, this is student. Oh God, this is from Student Life, Oregon, University of Oregon. A purr is a non-gendered pronoun pronounced as it looks. Purr is going to Portland for the weekend. We asked Purr to be the officiant at our wedding after the recent SCOTUS decision.
I still don't know what it means.
I don't. It's a non-gendered person.
A purr.
Okay, so check it out. It's scientifically, check it out. It's scientifically impossible, right? You've got one or two choices. You either got the plumbing or you don't have the plumbing. However, that's as simple as it is. However, we want to sit there and mutilate kids. And why aren't parents in jail?
Dude.
Right? We've lost our ever-loving minds. You know, the federal government trafficking kids. The federal government, come to our country. Why? So we can get more kids. We've got 20,000. We have no clue where they're at. How about them apples? Right? Probably on Epstein's Island. I don't know.
That chick you put up before, I don't even know her name. The Black
I don't
Raggedy
either.
Ann. I'll call it a Black Raggedy Ann, right? She took over for Raggedy Ann or whatever that chick's name was. But
she is the worst secretary or press secretary ever.
She's
bad.
Yeah.
She's bad. Asian Biden.
She's worse than Raggedy Ann. But was it? I lost my train of thought. I forget. Anyway,
let me see if I can find this one. Go ahead, buddy. I'm still listening.
No, I was going somewhere, but it's gone now. It flew.
All right.
The thought flew away.
Side hustle. That's a good one. You know, we ought to have a segment where we read a new addition to the Oxford English Dictionary. Side hustle.
I don't know, man.
A part-time job or an occasional undertaking in addition to one's main job is a side hustle.
So are we changing the word job to hustle?
Ooh.
I'm just asking the question there, Oxford.
Yeah.
Hey, I got Rick mentioned the Army or the military in general, I guess, being a social experiment. Do you know of any police department that is getting a new building, a new police, fire, EMS, municipal building, kind of all in one, right? Multi-million-dollar project that is going to have a gender-neutral locker room with changing stalls? How is that for a great fucking idea?
What does that even mean?
So chicks, dudes, we're going to get changed and go out on patrol. We all have the same locker room, but we have to get our shit and go into a changing stall like you would go in a dressing room at fucking, the mall. Nothing wrong is going to happen there. That's not a recipe for disaster at all.
Now, it worked out great in Virginia, Loudoun County.
Oh, they did something similar?
Oh, yeah. That was the guy who committed those rapes.
Yeah. Raping the girls.
Yeah, he was identifying as a girl.
Yep.
But this is a police department not far from where
they'll enforce the law. I feel a lot better.
So I was
that's up in New York, though.
Yes. So I was like, what the hell is going on? Apparently it's building code now. I don't know if that's true, but I had somebody that works for that government tell me that.
Doesn't surprise me. It's bizarro world up there. I mean, honestly, you guys are bizarro world. When it comes to states, I don't get you, right? It's nobody's fault that crime's on the rise, right? God forbid you put anything on leadership. You got a gun-free city that things still happen. Don't be, cashless bond. Just let them out, man. It don't matter, but you don't want to be a sanctuary state. I'm a little shocked. You can't take the burden of the funds and you want the federales to give you more money. It's like, where's your leadership at, man? High taxes, no rights. Every time I drive through New York, my chest gets a little tight. I feel my rights just sucking out of my soul. I don't even know if it's America.
Well, just go to Martha's Vineyard. Go to Martha's Vineyard. The rich up there would love to have all this.
The Commonwealth is just bad, right? The Commonwealth's another place, man. I start feeling that tightness in my chest, difficulty breathing.
What did it take? About 20 minutes for the police to call the MPs at whatever friggin' base is over there? Yep, get on the bus. We'll take you over to wherever.
Yeah, that didn't take very long, did
it?
Be like, ain't coming on here.
I want to get your guys' opinion on one more thing before we wrap this stuff up. We get all of Ken's calendar again, training calendar, but I want to hear your guys' opinion on this one.
Oh God.
Do you know who that is?
Yeah. Only because yeah.
Dude.
What happened, girlfriend?
That doesn't look like Madonna. I don't know.
Kind of does a little bit, right? Like she's been on
tell you right now,
on a bad bender.
So
with
somebody
those Cheetos.
somebody posted that the other day on Facebook, and a comment I read was, "No, you're completely wrong. That does look like Madonna from back in the '80s after she got beat up with a baseball bat." So
Okay.
oh man,
I tell you that she's got a pretty strong resemblance to the doll from Saw. The
I
puppet
didn't see
from
so,
Saw.
but yeah, it does look like.
It looks just like, I mean, that's, I don't know who put that together. That's genius.
God bless, man.
I feel bad for her though. I did a Vantage Point about this. I feel bad for her.
Why?
How
That's
can you
SAD right there, bro.
how can you look in the mirror and think you look better? I don't care what you look like before. How do you think that looks like?
But
That's better.
But here's the question of the hour, right? So all these cats go with the plastic surgeon, man. What that tells me is you've got some deep underlying self-esteem issues, right? Now I can see going to one. Oh, dude, I can see going to one. Hey, man, you're in a car wreck. You put your face through the windshield, and you need to get it cleaned up, right?
100%. Yep.
Hey, your nose is sideways because you brawled with the dude, and hey, man, it happens, right? Get your stuff straightened out. Cool. Might not always be straight, but you know, it is what it is.
That's like an evil Princess Leia hairdo she's got.
But
that's like a crackhead Princess Leia.
What is she running down to a Mexican doctor to go, hey man, hey doc, hook me up? I'm like,
I don't know.
Does she think she looks good? I mean, it's like, man,
dude, that's a material girl, man.
She's material something.
Oh yeah. Anyway, Ken, what's your website, buddy?
StretzTactical.com, STRETZ tactical.com.
And I guess you got all your calendar and all the
whole calendar's on there.
Training right there.
Yep. So you can go up on the top. There's a tab for training. If you double click it, it gives you the year in review, if you will, or the year-long calendar. Again, I got classes coming up in California, Texas, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, and New York. So, and then you and I were talking about maybe later in the year doing something in Utah, right? Or Utah.
Yeah.
Where do you live again?
A little far away from the Kelley.
Ohio. Sorry, I don't know.
Let me know how Utah works out. Be like, hey, Mark, where you at, man?
Mark, where are you? What time's your plane land?
So your the soonest date that you have on the calendar is that the one in Texas?
Yes. That's April 20 and 21 that weekend. It might be 21, 22 off the top of my head there, but so it's 2-day advanced tactical pistol at the ranch, not the Ranch Gun Club, the ranch in Dealey, Texas, which is again, it's excuse me, it's east of San Antonio. So they're kind of an up and coming great facility, shoot houses. I think they got 1,000-yard range, a vehicle range, like great facility. So and I'll be back there again in October for a 1-day marksmanship class and then a 1-day force on force class. And I'll be out in San Diego County at Christensen Combative Zone, a 2-day advanced pistol there. And Pennsylvania, I got some stuff. July, I got a 2-day advanced tactical pistol class there and a mid-range carbine class in October. That one's not on the schedule yet, but it will be. I got a skill builders. So they're like 2.5-hour weeknight handgun skill builders from April to November at Academy Northeast in Salem, Connecticut. And then a whole slew of classes in New York because I'm New York based, at least for another 2 years until I retire.
Awesome.
Get down south to where you get some freedom.
Oh, I can't, dude. I cannot wait to pull the plug.
Yeah.
Put the cop thing behind me, do the training thing more full time, and find some roots now. And so this way, when it's time to pop smoke, I'm out. But the other thing I would tell people too is Instagram, Facebook at Stretz Tactical, YouTube, all that, all the socials, LinkedIn, all that good stuff. So
yeah.
Do you have all those links on your website?
I do. Yeah, everything's on the website. Okay. And then when you go to the website, don't forget to on the homepage, it'll pop up, sign up for the newsletter. Because I push out periodic newsletters, letting you know about new classes, or if you forgot one was coming up, it's kind of like a reminder. And same thing with the socials, always put stuff out on there to remind you. So but thanks for having me on, guys. It was fun as always. Right, always a hoot to
buddy,
hang out with you guys.
Yeah, man. Don't go anywhere, Ken. Hang on, okay, buddy?
All right.
All
Sounds
right,
good.
thanks, pal. Awesome show, buddy.
Yeah, man.
Always great
Always
to
good
catch
to
up
have
with
Ken
him.
on.
He's got a lot going on in the calendar. Got a lot
Yep.
going on in the calendar. So make sure you
Yeah,
guys
so-
go to stretchtactical.com, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got all the stuff he's got going on.
But yeah, while you're doing that, make sure you hit warhog.com and kellydefense.com. Make sure you go to our industry partners, check out all those promo codes. We work tirelessly, Rick, to get all those promo codes on there.
Slaving.
Save
Yeah.
yourself a boatload of cash. Retail is for suckers.
You
Retail
know it,
is
buddy.
for suckers. So make sure you hit those. Make sure you hit those promo codes. Really like them. Also, check out the Patreon page, patreon.com// On the Range Podcast. We got the law enforcement only tier. Go check it out. There's plenty of stuff on there. It's a special price for our men and women in blue. And also there's going to be some law enforcement only content coming out. So make sure you check that out. Make sure you check out Rick's new Warhog Tactical Combat Carbine, 1% better every day.
Mhm.
Make sure you check that out. It's also the combo this time, Rick, with the firearms training notebook.
Yeah, buddy.
That's a good looking picture, buddy.
Yeah, man. They did good.
Yeah. They did a
So-
good job with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure you go to Amazon and pick up a copy of the firearms training notebook, 1% better every day. Ship it right to your house, or you can go to the websites, warhog.com, kellydefense.com. Get a signed copy by Rick and I if you want to go that route. Makes a perfect gift for Valentine's Day. It's okay if it's a few days late.
Oh,
Yeah. Go ahead and
It'll
grab
be
yourself.
inscribed. It'll be inscribed. So, man, even better.
Yeah. It's a very personal
buddy.
touch we do with that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we do.
So anyway, pal, another great show. Great to have Ken on. We'll have him back on, give a couple updates with his class. We'll also have an update with him and you. And when you do your collab, that's going to be a lot of fun as well. So
Mhm. Yeah,
let's
buddy.
do it again real soon, buddy.
You know what, man? You guys train hard, stay safe, and we'll see you on the range.
Oh yeah, man. I love that. Send them away with something. That's what I say.